Hello and welcome to Bio Makeover Mondays and more within the Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Facebook group. I am your fearless leader, Nancy Juetten. I am the creator of the Bye Bye Boring Bio 2020 workbook. I am the leader of this amazing tribe of 1,535 engaged speakers, experts, and authors who are up to big things. And I am also your ultimate champion to help you get seen, heard, celebrated, and ultimately compensated for your winning ways. I love doing bio makeovers and Mondays and more. Every Monday at 1 o'clock, it is the most engaged day in my Facebook group, in your Facebook group. And there's always so many value bombs that I have to drop that can help shift your perspective and change your thinking about how you show up as the expert you are for the podcast, broadcasts, and other virtual and live stages where your expertise can add value and make a big impact and bring you a smile all the way to the bank as you make your own winning best impression. Now, I'll be starting with a very exciting bio makeover in just a moment, but I wanted to give you a quick reminder that on December 2nd at 10 o'clock, I'm going to be leading a free virtual workshop right here from within this group where you can learn how to be the podcast dream guest who smiles all the way to the bank. And if you're noticing that there is a link scrolling along the bottom of the screen, I would love to make sure that you are officially registered to benefit from it because it's going to be happening right here from within this Facebook group. It's going to happen on Wednesday, December 2nd at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. And I want as many of you here live to benefit because I'm going to pour so much value that it's going to make your head spin. And I want to give you a quick reminder that if you have not yet taken advantage of the useful tools to make your media one sheet and brilliant bio even more client and opportunity attracting, you can visit the Units tab right here in the Facebook group to download those useful tools. And that will allow you to be an overachiever even before we start the virtual workshop on December 2nd at 10 o'clock. Now, today is November 30th, and around the world, it's known as Cyber Monday. That is where folks doing business online go forth and offer amazing deep discounts on all their wares with the idea that they can optimize their upside by making those special discounts. And I know it pays off, and it pays off in all kinds of ways. And I wanted to ask you something that might be a game changer for you. What if instead of offering discounts, you actually offered deeper and more complete value to exceed expectations right out of the gate? I think sometimes we are quick to discount what we offer. What if you could offer more value instead? That could be a shift in your thinking that can take you all the way to the new year and beyond as an audience of one who's doing something beyond which nobody had any idea how great it could be. I would love for you to start thinking along those lines, because when you can add more value and be a category of one, people will be called to want to do more business with you and invest wisely to welcome that benefit. Another mantra I want you to be thinking about is something that I've been saying to myself every day for the latter part of these last few months. And that is this mantra: my work deserves a much wider audience, and my business is worthy of sales beyond expectations. When you take on this mantra, all of a sudden, your mindset is so abundant that good things start coming your way. More and more as we get into the end of the year, there are some people that are just saying, I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to put my head in the sand. I'm going to wait for the vaccine to show up, and then maybe I'll gear up later and tend to my business at some later point. But when you say to yourself, my work deserves a much bigger audience and my business is worthy of sales beyond expectations, you know what? People are attracted to that. And what do you know? They decide to invest with you. And what if that could be your outcome? It's only November 30th. There are 31 days left in December, and there are many, many businesses that are putting their blinders on, building a moat around themselves and believing as if the right clients are going to rush to do business with them because they are a category of one, delivering an outcome and a system and a method that is beyond expectations, that is proven and reliable for bringing about the results. And if you have found yourself tripping over dollars to get to dimes and playing the discount game and doing low-end products. And believe me, I know what that's about because I've done that quite a bit over the course of my career. What if you made a mindset shift that high-end, high-value programs were going to be where you focus? Because you know what? You don't need to do business with as many people to create the bigger result for your clients and for yourself when you focus in this direction. And wouldn't that pave a much more fruitful path to cash for your clients, for you, and for all those who get to benefit from those gifts? So I would invite you to think about how to pave a path to premium programs as soon as possible, because it will make your life so much easier and you will probably be working far more efficiently to create much more powerful results. And this is one of the reasons that I am super, super excited to do a bio makeover for a mover and shaker among our very ranks. You probably saw the before version of David Newman's Media One Sheet. And it's really quite good. And I have it right in front of me right here. And there's so much about it to love. And so I want to give David Newman kudos on this. He's a thought leadership marketing expert, jalapeno fan, dog lover, and Atari gamer. And then his bio reads, I'm just going to read it to you. David Newman is a certified speaking professional and a member of the National Speaker Association's $1 Million Speaker Group. He brings your audience a rapid-fire, do-this-now series of value bombs that will ignite their entrepreneurial income and influence, all in a conversational, no-hype tone that's fresh and fun. He's the author of the business bestsellers Do It Marketing and Do It Speaking, 77 Action Ideas to Market, Monetize, and Maximize Your Expertise, published by HarperCollins. He's also the creator of Do It MBA mentoring program and is known as one of the leading revenue growth mentors for consultants, coaches, and independent professionals. Now, this is an excellent bio, and I'm not throwing water on it at all. But if we want to attract the attention of a podcast host, why not share the bio from the standpoint of the win primarily for the host? And so I did a little rewrite on this, and I want to call out some of the things that I did to make it a little stronger. David Newman brings you and your audience a rapid-fire, do-this-now series of value bombs that will ignite their entrepreneurial income and influence, all in a conversational, no-hype tone that's fresh and fun. Starting that way brings the host in right away. The host and the audience benefit is front and center. Then I follow up with, he's the creator of the Do It MBA mentoring program that has graduated thousands of satisfied clients since 19XX, who now profit daily as a result of his proven marketing business accelerator methods. In the previous version, he mentioned MBA, and I know what an MBA is because that's a degree that people earn from a university that's highly prestigious, but I had a feeling that it wasn't exactly that he was providing. So I went to his website and I discovered that MBA actually stands for Marketing Business Accelerator Methods. Now that's interesting. So don't drop an acronym without explaining what it means, especially when the juicy benefit is so powerful and it's just hiding right beneath your nose. Then I also added how many satisfied clients he'd graduated over what period of time, because they are now profiting daily as a result of his proven methods. Because when you've been around for as long as David Newman has been around, this isn't his first rodeo. He's worked with thousands of people who have transformed from penniless to wealthy because of his proven proprietary methods. And if you are someone who has had that same kind of impact, spell it out and name the numbers, because they are credibility enhancing and make a big difference for people wanting to turn their head and say, maybe he's the guy that can help me create that premium program that will make all the difference for business acceleration. Then we add, he's known and respected as one of the leading revenue growth mentors for consultants, coaches, and independent professionals who lead with high-value offers at meaningful price points that deliver their promised impact. Now, that's a powerful sentence because it lets us know who his ideal client is: consultants, coaches, and independent professionals. And what do? They lead with high value offers at meaningful price points that deliver the promised impact. Now, a lot of times we hear people say, have a high ticket program, have a high ticket program. And one of my comments about that is, listen, I don't object to having a high ticket program, but the high ticket program is more about what's in it for you, the service provider, as opposed to what's in it for the person who's fortunate enough and has the presence of mind to wisely invest in the program. So I am a fan of calling them high value offers at meaningful price points, because that's not about, oh, let's go get a high ticket offer. Listen, I don't know that that's something that we ever say in conversation. Boy, oh boy, I'm going to the mall today to buy a high ticket offer. No, we're going to the mall to invest in a luxury item that we're going to wear on our wrist every day, or we're going to buy a handbag that's going to differentiate us from everyone else who doesn't have one that's quite so spectacular. Don't lead with a high ticket offer. Lead with a high value prestige opportunity that's going to deliver the promised result. Now, then we added a certified speaking professional and member of the National Speakers Association $1 Million Speaker Group. He's the author of these 2 amazing books. I love putting that at the end instead of the start, because if you had any doubt in your mind that he was your man, now you know that he is in this prestige group of $1 million speakers. And if you are a speaker and you want to learn from someone who knows the ropes, don't you feel even more confident in rolling with him? And then here's something else I was suggesting. He put in his headline before that he was a jalapeno fan, a dog lover, and an Atari gamer. And that lets me know that he has lots of personality and that he's got qualities that, of course, I would love because I'm a dog lover too, and that he's a gamer. But I was hungry to make a connection to how that was a win for his clients or the people that are lucky enough to work with him closely. So I suggested that we take it out of the headline and put it as the final sentence of his bio. And it says here, a jalapeno fan, dog lover, and Atari gamer, David brings spicy sound bites and infectious personality to every conversation, creating big wins for hosts and listeners alike. What we did there is we tied the whole thing about jalapenos, dog loving, and gaming into a win for the host and the audience alike. And I think that just seals it up with a big, bright gift bow that makes him sound even more awesome. So I hope that you see the differences between the before and the after, and that you're excited about what can happen. I mean, listen, when you're a mover and shaker like David Newman, you probably are doing fine on your own. But it was such a privilege to have the opportunity to take a look at his speaker one sheet and see how I could make it even better, because sometimes we just get caught up in our own stuff and don't see the subtle yet meaningful upgrades that are possible when you just allow that in. I want to say a couple of other things about his media one sheet that could be instructive for you. In his bullet points, he talks about his most popular media topics. The first one I love, thought leadership marketing for 2021 and beyond. He's making his topic relevant for the coming year, which I'm sure creates a lot of curiosity and intrigue. How can we be thought leaders in 2020 and 2021 and beyond? The next one, another one he has is why your business needs to flop, feature and leverage other people. I love that. And yet the other 2 were a little lackluster to me. One of them said, how to build your expert platform and rev up your revenue. I like that. It's pretty good, but it would be so much better if it said something like 3 uncommon and reliable ways to build your expert platform and rev up your revenue. Because just by adding 3 uncommon and reliable ways, that creates a head whip reaction. I'm thinking, boy, does he have 3 uncommon and reliable ways I can count on to create these results? I will make it a priority to show up for that call, because he's going to give me something I haven't heard before, and I'm ready to be at the top of my game. Another way he could phrase it would be the best way to build your expert platform and rev up your revenue, and it's not what you think. And another way to do it might be how to rapidly build your expert platform and rev up your revenue without relying on Facebook ads or JV partnerships. Just by adding that without relying on Facebook ads or JV partnerships, you're thinking to yourself, finally, somebody that's got an approach that appeals to me, I'm going to tune into that. So just by adding a little intrigue and curiosity, you can make your bullet points relevant to what is timely, newsworthy, and worth talking about right now. And just a slight turn of phrase might turn a generic comment into something that is game-changing and door-opening for you. Now, he has excellent praise from people with big names. Joel Block says, David's episode is among the best interviews I've ever done. And then Bob Berg says, one of the truly outstanding marketers of today's entrepreneurial world. Now, if he wants to get on top podcast, do you think it's going to help him that these big names have said brilliant things about him? I would say so. And do you think that he can have some amazing game-changing conversations that you as a listener could voyeur into to benefit from? I believe so. But the part of it that I get most excited about for David Newman is the relationships that he's going to create with top hosts, where when they have the opportunity to have a conversation with him, not only are they knowing that they are serving their audience in a deeper way, but I know that when the microphone goes silent and the recording has stopped, those folks are going to start having conversations for relationship, for joint venture partnership, for referrals they can make among and between each other that truly can be game changing. It's when the microphone goes off that the real magic happens during podcast interviews, in my experience. And I know that that's going to happen for David too. Something else I love about David's Media One Sheet is that where he shows the logos for Twitter, LinkedIn, email, et cetera, he's showcasing how many followers he has on Twitter, how many friends he has on Facebook, how many people are in his group, how many connections he has, and it's sizable. When you have a sizable following and it shows up in this way, a host will take one look at that and say, not only is this guy the guy I want on my show, but I'm super excited at the potential support he can lend when he shares the episode out among the people who are fortunate to already be following him. And he says here, David loves to promote his podcast appearances and share your show with his fans, followers, and subscribers. So if you've been stopping short of sharing the magnitude of your influence, why not showcase it in the way that David Newman has modeled for you here and see what kind of doors can open for you? The beautiful thing about this Media One Sheet is David created it using the Media One Sheet template that I so generously provide to you in the Units tab. You can create this without having to hire a graphic designer or go to Canva to search for a template. And because you have created it yourself under your own power, under your own keyboard, 3 months from now, David can go in and say, do I still have 61,000 followers on Twitter or do I have 90,000? All he has to do is type in the difference and he's updated his Speaker One Sheet or his Media One Sheet, and he can keep on using it any way that he likes, but it's just a snapshot in time. So one other little like insider secret is in the lower right-hand corner, you might put the month like 11/20 for November 2020. So when he goes back in to update his Media One Sheet, he can go to the one that's dated when he actually created it. 3 months from now, he can update it and make sure, these are still my topics. This is still the magnitude of my influence. This is still what I like to talk about. And off we go. Another thing that he does brilliantly is he showcases visually some of the shows upon where he's been showcased, like the Go Giver with Bob Berg, Entrepreneur on Fire with John Lee Dumas, et cetera. Now, when other podcast hosts see that he has been showcased on these hot shows, that lets them know that he is someone to be taken seriously. But here's a ninja tip for the rest of us. If you want to be seen, heard, and celebrated on shows about authority building, for example, Find someone who's already being seen, heard, and celebrated on shows that relate to authority building, and ask yourself, could your expertise be showcased on those same shows? Because as we said a few moments ago, your work deserves a much larger audience, a much wider audience. Could you be the next guest on Entrepreneur on Fire or on Bob Burg's Go Giver show? Because if you were to listen to David Newman's show and post a 5-star review on iTunes that Bob Burg would see, you could say something like, what a privilege, what an honor, what a thrill to listen to the conversation you had with David Newman, CFP, about creating premium programs and why that's so important, especially in 2021. My favorite part of the broadcast was when you talked about A, B, and C, and I'm already fast on the path to creating my own Go Giver amazing program that could be something that would rival his. Can't wait to see what else you've got on the program. 5 stars. Go ahead and post a 5-star review and then keep listening to the show. And if you have something to add to the conversation that has not yet been discussed, go ahead and make your pitch in the manner that makes sense for that broadcast, and you could very well be the next guest. So I hope that you have gained value from this bio makeover that I did for David Newman. He was already a rock star, and with these subtle adjustments that I'm suggesting and the learning points that I'm calling out, I hope you're getting excited about how you could take something great and make it even better, because that would be what I would hope for you. Don't go lackluster when you can go blockbuster. And if having my eyes on your message would be something that would excite you, remember, I do bio makeovers on Mondays here in the Facebook group, and it's something that I gladly do because I'm trying to introduce you to each other, and remember that the rising tide lifts all the boats. I want to tell you something else about David Newman that I think you might find amusing, and I'm just looking for some notes here, so just give me a second here. There's low-hanging fruit to be picked. You can get on all kinds of podcasts. After all, there are over 1 million podcasts on iTunes, and every single one of those hosts is looking for guests, and some of them could be guests just like you. But what if you said to yourself, I want to be on a top podcast? You've got to summon up some courage to figure out how you're going to make your approach. And I'll tell you something, and this is in the spirit of complete transparency. I've been following David Newman for quite some time. I'm highly interested and intrigued and impressed with everything he says and does. And I set an intention for myself that I would be a guest on his show. And what did I do? I did exactly what I'm telling you that you should do. Listen to the show. Post a 5-star review. Make it specific and terrific about what you learned and what you took away and what was specifically remarkable about the program. If the person who has a show that you want to be on has a Facebook group, go ahead and join it. Become an active participant. Then when you can figure out a reason that they might want to be listening to you, make a personal approach. And what I did is I decided that I would really be honored and thrilled to be a guest on David's podcast. I found every possible way that I could demonstrate my interest in his program. I reached out to him on a private message. We had a nice exchange. I shipped my Bye Bye Boring Bio 2020 workbook direct to his doorstep for his personal review. I thought it might be something that would be of value to him and his community. I asked him what he thought about it. Then it turned out that one of our mutual friends knows him very, very well. And I just recently been on Dan Janelle's podcast, and he'd asked me what I was interested in doing. And I said, I was really interested in a warm introduction to David Newman. And he said, I'll introduce you. He's a good friend of mine. So Dan Janelle, thank you, Dan Janelle. He's a member of this group too. He said, I want to recommend that you chat with Nancy Juetten. This is why I think she'd be an excellent colleague for you to add to your crown of people that you know. And as soon as he sent me that referral, I jumped on it right away and said how thrilled I would be to have the opportunity to be a guest on his show, and that I would be delighted to have him as a guest on my YouTube channel, and that I had all kinds of brilliant ways that I thought we could be of support to each other, and could we have a chat. And I was feeling really, really good about it. And then weeks went by, and all of a sudden nothing happened. And then I kept on playing the second guessing game where I'm thinking, well, maybe I said something I shouldn't have said, or maybe I was too enthusiastic, or maybe I was too something that I didn't know what I could have been. And then I thought, if I really want to be on the show, I have to practice the fine art of follow-up. And so instead of being a pill or someone who's annoying, I wrote an email that said, if you're not stuck under heavy furniture, give me a call. Because I'm a movie buff and I kind of had a feeling he was too, based on how I'd followed him so far. And there was this movie, When Harry Met Sally, and they were having a tiff, and Harry calls Sally and says, listen, if you're not stuck under heavy furniture, will you give me a call? And what do you know, the next day, David said, I'd love to have you on the show. Let's book it as soon as possible. And we had the most amazing conversation, and that show is going to be airing before Christmas. But I'm just telling you that everything that is that I'm teaching you how to do is something that I teach and do myself. And it has wonderful, wonderful outcomes. I can't remember a more enjoyable podcast than being a guest on David's show. And I'm super, super excited to tell you that I will be interviewing David about, guess what? Creating high value offers for your programs so that you can stop stepping over dollars to get to dimes. And we're going to be doing that conversation in the middle of the month, and I'll be sure to let you know when it's live. But I hope that you are excited at the prospect of meeting him, learning from him, modeling your own media one sheet after his exceptional example, and also considering whether or not he is the guy to show you how you can stop stepping over dollars to get to dimes, to finally have a premium program around which you can build your flagship offer. Because we've got a brand new year debuting soon, and why not go bigger? Why not aim higher? Why not imagine that you are that expert that people gladly invest so meaningfully into to get the proven, practical, and fruitful results that you promise? So that, my friends, is Bio Makeover Mondays and More for this Monday, November 30th. And I hope that you got some value out of it. Go ahead and post in the comments below what your best takeaway is and what you're going to do differently with your media one sheet, so that you can start opening the doors to having conversations with the right kinds of hosts that have embedded listeners that are already loyal to that host, that can't wait to learn at the feet of your wisdom and follow your call to action to become part of your world and sit at the feet of your wisdom to benefit from the specific, terrific, and distinct way that you stand apart as an expert on your own. I again remind you that I'm doing a Be the Podcast Dream Guest virtual masterclass this Wednesday, December 2nd, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific, right here from within the Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Facebook group. If you be sure to register officially for it by using the link that you see scrolling along the bottom of your screen. And if you think that there are other people in your world that can benefit from it, won't you please share that link with everyone you know who's a speaker, expert, and author who wants to raise their voice, make their impact without leaving home, and smile all the way to the bank? The more, the merrier. I believe that the new year offers our finest opportunity to make a huge, huge difference in the marketplace. So build a moat, surround yourself with positive people, aim high, and don't stop, because the world needs your message. The world needs your distinct way of doing it. And why wait a moment longer? So that is Nancy Juetten on Bio Makeover Mondays and More. Thank you, David Newman, for being so gracious in allowing me to suggest ways to make your spectacular media one sheet even more brilliant. And I know that everyone that gets to meet you and learn from you as we have more opportunity to deepen our conversations, everyone will be a winner. So with that, I will look forward to seeing your comments, and I look forward to seeing you again on December 2nd at 10 o'clock for the amazing workshop that you don't want to miss. All right, that's all for now. Thanks so much.